to hello again, everyone, with Bill Walton and Jim Gray, Mike Green on hand. A lot of scoring in Game 3. Defense is dominated in Game 4, Bill.
And it's the moment of truth right now for Sacramento. If they don't win this game, only 7 times has a team in 154 series in the NBA history been able to come back and win from being down 3-1. And with the offensive futility tonight being outscored Sacramento in the third quarter by 9. Game 3, the last game, they're outscored by 10. Something is going wrong in that locker room at halftime with the Sacramento Kings. They are not able to sustain their offensive attack.
The Game 2 and 3, the fourth quarter, have been real roller coaster rides. Wild comebacks as Cassell in and out. That one was halfway down. It was in Game 2. Minnesota was down 10 with about 4 minutes to go. Went on a 16-1 run. Game 3, Sacramento down 14 with 4 minutes to go. Went on a 20-6 run. Peeler lost it momentarily, but recovers beautifully.
And when you make Sam Cassell walk the ball up the court, you've done your job. No push, no thrust for Minnesota.
Cassell has missed 10 of his 14 shots from the field. Shot clock winding down. Divac's called for a foul. He grabbed the hold of Garnett before coming up with a steal, and Vlade Divac picks up his third.
Garnett has got to continue to work down low. They keep bumping him. Great screen there by Gary Trent. But with Vlade going to the fronting defense, how can you not get Kevin Garnett the ball? He's only taken 2 free throw attempts. Consequently, the front court for Sacramento is not in foul trouble whatsoever.
Garnett calling for it here. There's the double team. He's seen that all night long. Good ball movement. Cassell. Garnett tips it. Christie comes up with it. And then a foul call on Gary Trent. Not a smart foul from Trent.
Sacramento wisely on defense. They're staying at home on Hoiberg and leaving Sam Cassell. Hoiberg, who learned in the early days of his career playing with Chris Mullin and Reggie Miller for the Indiana Pacers, where he spent 4 years, how to become a great shooter.
Miller lost it, got it back, and then committed the foul. I think it was Sprewell that initially deflected that. So Brad Miller picks up his third, and already the second team foul.
Now they have Kevin Garnett. This is where they're very, very good at executing the offense because Sacramento can't exert any defensive pressure. That's an offensive foul. Great call by Jack Neese. Initiation of the contact on KG.
And then I believe Bernie Fryer just called a technical foul on Latrell Sprewell. So Garnett picks up his third personal. And Sprewell a technical. And again, Bill, you know, we've talked about this. Here you are in such a crucial playoff game, and you can get involved in this stuff.
And that just fires up the crowd. This is the last thing you want to do. That's the easiest play of the night.
And then after the whistle, as Sprewell was walking up, Christie hits the technical free throw. Watch Sprewell. Just ridiculous.
What is he thinking?
Sprewell, who's played so well defensively, and here Minnesota with a chance to go up 3-1. And you make a play like that.
Vlade has to reassert his impact on this game. He's gone quiet.
Misses that one, and Sprewell the rebound. 5-point Sacramento lead. And Peeler pulls it in. Peeler's helped in this game. 8 points and 4 rebounds for Anthony Peeler. They needed some kind of contribution from him tonight.
Vlade's got a little one if they can get it back to him.
Gibby puts it in.
Flip Saunders has seen enough. The mental breakdowns of his Timberwolves, unsatisfactory.
They're on their feet at Arco Arena. You can't call it a must-win because there's still games to play even if they lost. But Sacramento in a desperate situation and maybe some frustration from Latrell Sprewell. Bibby with a big shot. Kings by 7. but plenty of time to go here in the fourth quarter.
They think tonight of Flip Saunders and Minnesota. They are coming out in full force. Of course, Phil Jackson called this a cowtown. The police have asked behind the bench that they not disrupt Minnesota's huddle, and most of the fans are deciding to cooperate. That and the threat of being thrown out of here. Mike?
Kevin Garnett with a tip, Jim, and that cuts it to a 5-point game.
More important than cowbells is Kevin Garnett's dominance on the glass.
Garnett
He's
now
going to have a 20-rebound game.
He's got 17 now and is starting to come alive offensively after only 5 points in the first half. Now has 13 for the game.
How long will Adelman leave Chris Webber on the bench?
Oh, Bibby with a nice tip, but Miller couldn't finish. Still Kings ball. They'll get a new 24. Webber, the game's leading scorer with 22, but on the bench now.
Rick Adelman has been roundly criticized here, and I think unjustly, for the tight rotation, only playing 7 players. But who's he going to put in? More importantly, who's he going to take out?
Miller, and that hit the shot clock. He's falling back when he took that shot. Shooting numbers, Sacramento 40%, Minnesota 40%.
Big gamble, though, for Rick Adelman. Yes, he's got the 5-point lead here, but he's got Stojakovic and Webber on the bench right now.
Stojakovic ineffective again, but it was the fourth quarter where he came alive in game 3. He's only 2 for 9 from the field.
He had 22 points in the fourth quarter and overtime combined, scoring all of Sacramento's points in the overtime.
Garnett.
A lot of dribbling.
Hassel. And Miller with a rebound. Both teams have really played well defensively.
But the pace of the game is remarkably slow for the way these teams normally like to play.
Anthony Peeler. Bibby trying to keep it alive, and Irvin Johnson the rebound.
Try to get something going in transition here. Free well. That's where he's at his best.
Garnett calling for the ball. Offensive foul. Garnett raising that left arm, hitting Brad Miller. And Garnett now with 4 fouls. And that's the 21st turnover for the Minnesota Timberwolves. This is a team during the regular season, second fewest in the NBA per game at under 13 a game.
But the ability to establish her position, initiate contact, is a great offensive force without drawing the attention. What a pass by Vlade!
Bibby can't finish as he goes down hard. Bibby yelling he wanted a foul. Rick Adelman told him to get up and play defense.
You have to capitalize here if you're Minnesota.
Offensive foul. Trenton Hassel as the old man Vlade Divac draws the charge.
It's still a mental game. Why Vlade can be so successful at this late in his career.
He's just such a smart player. Sets a tough screen. Bibby lost it.
Great hands defensively by Irvin Johnson. He just came out there in the trap, so effective. Bibby trying to split as he's been so successful with during the course of this series. They're going to jump it up at midcourt, which is a huge advantage for Minnesota here.
A huge advantage?
Absolutely. But now you know you're not going to get scored on off the tap. Hoiberg right there.
Divac, finds Miller, and Miller's fouled. Let's see if they call a flagrant on that. He shoved him down. I haven't seen a call from the official yet. They're conferring right now. Bernie Fryer getting together with his 3 reps. The initial call was not flagrant.
How can it not be flagrant? You got a 2-hand push in the back on a guy on a breakaway layup, scoring from half court on the tip.
Nope, just a regular 2-shot foul. No flagrant foul. Rick Adelman trying to talk to Jimmy Capers.
How can you give up a layup and then push a guy in the back off a jump ball from center court?
You know, to me, that's very borderline. Again, the definition of a flagrant one is unnecessary contact. Cassell was just trying to make sure he didn't stop. Yes, he had the hand on his back, but he also reached around to make a play.
I just don't like fouls from behind.
Yeah, I agree. Normally, you'll see those called flagrant. That was very close.
I was there the night Cazzie Russell's career came to an end on a play like that.
With plays like that, that can certainly get hurt. You're right, Bill. Now, the difference between a flagrant would be you get the 2 free throws and possession of the ball, but Miller hits both. And the lead back up to 7. Cassell is fouled down the other end. So Cassell will go to the line. Stojakovic now coming back in. Christie's going to sit down as Bibby picks up his 4th. Cassell is at a rough shooting night. He's still 3 of 4 from the line. 12 total points for Cassell.
But he's the kind of player Cassell is who can just play awful for so long, and then all of a sudden it clicks in. The converse of that is true as well. He can play beautiful and then just completely fall apart as he did in the 4th quarter of Game 3.
Well, of course, it was Game 2 where you had the big 4th quarter and that fabulous comeback from Minnesota.
And it was Game 1 that he had 40 points. Now only surpassed by Kobe Bryant's 42 from last night.
Miller taking Johnson off the dribble. Goes right at Garnett. A beautiful play from Brad Miller. And the lead back to 7. Hoiberg draws the foul and just threw it up in the basket. He'll shoot 2. Weber called for the personal.
Brad Miller is going to need to get into the ice whirlpool after this game, as they are hammering him every time he goes there.
Hoiberg has not scored in 16 minutes. He's only taken 1 shot. As you said earlier, Bill, they're very aware of where he is on the floor. He shot the ball so well. Sprewell back in, and Trent Hassel sits down. Gary Trent also returns. Irvin Johnson sits for Minnesota.
And how about Fred Hoiberg? The chance of Freddie the other night raining out in the Target Center. How far has this guy come?
He was so close to playing in Italy. He was ready to sign a deal. He had to sign it on a Monday, but during the weekend he got a call from his agent. They said Minnesota's interested. And just a couple of days later, if that call would have come, it would have been too late. Instead, he signs the free agent deal, and he's really helped them here in the postseason. Stojakovic short.
He's one of 5 veteran players on this Minnesota team making the NBA veteran minimum.
Cassell trying to find an opening. Gary Trent. Trent can't hit. Approaching the midway point of the 4th quarter in a crucial game for Sacramento, and Bibby draws the foul.
And while Sacramento is finishing or getting to the line at their basket, it's Minnesota that's fading away and coming short on the front rim on their end.
Trent with his 3rd foul. Bibby from the line. There you see 4th quarter points for Bibby. He is the guy who has been fearless over the last couple of years in the playoffs. He's the one that wants to take the big shot.
Mike Bibby leads the NBA playoffs in 4th quarter points. The only guy even close is his teammate, or his opponent head-to-head matchup here, Sam Cassell, who's a full point behind in 4th quarter productivity.
Bibby tonight 13 points and 8 assists.
Zone defense here again by Sacramento.
Sprewell way short. Weber tips it, but right to Garnett. And Kevin Garnett able to knock it down. Garnett with 15 points, 20 rebounds.
And he's been outplayed by Chris Weber. What will happen in the final 5.5 minutes?
Weber. Peeler. Brad Miller. 15 from Miller. And they're back up by 7.
This is AP.
Chance of defense again here at Arco. Garnett. Weber comes flying in to keep it alive, but Stojakovic comes out of the back. And Weber wisely slows it down.
There's no longer the explosiveness, the athleticism, but certainly the mind to create opportunities for others.
Terrific pass from Weber. And Miller's going to go and shoot some free throws, and we'll have timeout. Under 5 minutes remaining here in the fourth. Here's where things have gotten wild with the past couple of games. Right now, though, the Kings with a 7-point lead.
In the second round where the road team has won any ball game. If Minnesota is going to be able to take a commanding 3-1 lead in this series, they're going to have an offensive ignition here because Cassell is shooting 4 for 15. Sprewell 4 for 14. Kevin Garnett 6 for 14. Those are not the kind of inspiring numbers to get you over that hump.
But Bill, in both of those comebacks in the fourth quarter in games 2 and 3, both teams that were well behind, we thought they were dead in the water. Their body language, the way they were playing, it looked like the game was over. That was what was so amazing about both comebacks.
But they also involved complete collapses and mental breakdowns of the team that had the lead. We saw it from Sam Cassell. We saw it from Mike Bibby.
You see that one number, the turnover is huge. Meanwhile, Brad Miller having a terrific game. 17 points for Brad Miller. The lead back up to 9. Garnett. Hoiberg for 3. Fred Hoiberg from downtown. Hoiberg, who's shooting 46% from three-point range in the postseason. It's like that. It's back to 6.
But Fred Hoiberg is finally in a position late in his career, 9th year, where he's playing with quality teammates. Those years in Chicago, just lost.
Shot clock at 5. Weber. Miller battling. Garnett trying to take it away, and Miller comes up with a loose ball.
Miller's defense and his head-to-head play against Kevin Garnett has been determinant here in Sacramento's lead.
Miller makes his move. Garnett stays right with him. And a travel as he moved his pivot foot. Excellent defense from Garnett. A reminder coming up next on ESPN. It's Sports Center. Pacers and the Heat, a breakdown of that game. And the Lakers win in San Antonio. And, of course, the top 10 plays of the night coming up on ESPN Sports Center.
You mentioned Garnett's defense. I think his defense and his rebounding are the strongest parts of his game.
He pretty much does everything well. Trent playing some big minutes. Sprewell just kind of flipped it up. Maybe he thought he was going to get fouled.
Sprewell has not responded late in this game as he did in game 3. What a pass!
Oh, Bibby with a beautiful feed. And the lead back up to 8 with 3:15 remaining. 9th assist for Bibby. 24 for Weber.
And all Minnesota can do is walk it up. Flip Saunders in a world of trouble right now.
But they dropped games 2 and games 3. 2 crushing defeats that had them down 2-1 in this series. But they put in a terrific performance tonight and have an 8-point lead with just over 2.5 to play.
And Mike, give the credit to Chris Weber, who has been vilified here in this city. This was a team that played so well and had the great start of the season with the best record in the league. Chris Weber comes back and they can't finish the season strongly. Talking about trading him, the fans are booing him, and he has outplayed Kevin Garnett. +9 in points. Yes, Kevin Garnett has got 21 rebounds, but how can you keep a guy off the defensive backboard? It's been Chris Weber's defense, his finishing capability on his perimeter jump shots, and his creative leadership on the offensive end.
Sports Center coming up next. Also, credit Brad Miller. He's also done an excellent job, especially defending Garnett. But there's still plenty of time. If you've watched games 2 and 3 in this series, you know there's a long ways to go. Bibby blocked from behind, and a blocking foul called on Sam Cassell. Sprewell blocked it, but it appeared Cassell was in the restricted area, and Bibby will shoot 2.
A wild arm swing by Latrell Sprewell. Flip Saunders very concerned right now. They'd be able to turn the corner there. You've got to be able to turn that guy back, and you come down a tremendous block and an incredibly dangerous play. Somebody comes underneath you like that.
And you see Bibby so clutch from the free throw line on the fourth. Now you couldn't see on that replay, but when the play was live, it appeared that Cassell was in that restricted area. Bibby with 9 assists. And now perfect from the line. 6 for 6 tonight. The lead is up to 10. Largest lead of the fourth quarter.
If Sacramento loses this game, they will have lost everything, and the team will be totally revamped.
Cassell blocked by Weber, but a foul. Chris Weber picking up his second, and Cassell to the line.
The spinning pirouette down the lane, across the head, on the arm, easy play to call.
Crowd just saw the replay up top and disagreed.
Have you ever seen the home fans agree with a foul against their team?
You know what? I don't think I ever have. That's one time you can say never. Both free throws are good. Minnesota still within 8 as we come up on 2 minutes remaining.
Brad Miller's got a little one. He's got Trent Hassel over there. Sure, Hassel's a great defender, but Brad Miller should be able to torch him in the paint.
Miller with Sprewell on him. Does a good job shooting over it, but does not get the roll. And Sprewell boxing out Miller.
Weber, a nice job keeping that ball alive.
Hoiberg looking, finding Garnett. Garnett spinning. Hot shot, banks it in. 6-point game.
That's where Garnett's at his best offensively. From the high post, be able to turn and use those pivots, both inside and out.
Arco Arena on its feet. Bibby makes his move. Weber. Chris Weber with 26. And the lead back up to 8. Timeout Minnesota. Bibby and Weber working together again.
Bibby's ability to get down the middle of that defense, right over the top on that high screen and roll, has been determinant in this outcome tonight, Mike.
Weber ties this year's playoff high with 26. He's 12 of 20 from the field as Bibby dishes off the assist, and Flip Saunders needs another timeout. Just under a minute and a half remaining here in the
23 free throw attempts in those 2 games combined. Tonight, and the other game they lost, which was game 1, Kevin Garnett has combined for 6 free throw attempts. As the MVP, that will not get it done.
Cassell right out to Hassel. Trenton Hassel. Well short. Sprewell blocked by Miller, but a foul. And Sprewell will shoot too. That's exactly what Minnesota would love, is to score some points with the clock stopped.
That is the hardest play in the world to rebound. When you're sitting there and you've got a good shooter and Trent Hassel out there wide open, and you're trying to find your man and box out, all of a sudden it turns into an air ball. How are you supposed to read that situation?
Hassel's not a three-point shooter. That's his first three-point attempt of the playoffs. Last foul on Brad Miller is 4th. Now Minnesota can pull within 6, excuse me. Sprewell hits this, so this one's far from over. They still have timeouts remaining. Minnesota has a full and a 20 left. Both teams are in the penalty foul-wise. Minnesota 18 for 20 from the line, 90%.
You've got to contain Bibby's penetration here. If you don't, you have no chance whatsoever.
Good help from Garnett. Bibby finding Miller, blocked by Cassell, out of bounds! Brad Miller with a chance for a three-point play.
It looked like they had Bibby under control. He does escape the double team, yes, but the nice recovery by Sprewell. They have him trapped in the corner. The inability, though, to rotate it. And Adelman with everything on the line here. Ecstatic.
Miller with 20 points. Well, Brad Miller coming up huge here in game 4. 9-point lead. With just under a minute remaining here in this fourth quarter.
Mike, coming into this series, the edge that Sacramento had with the depth, quality, and skills of their big men, Brad Miller, Chris Webber, Vlade Divac, you would think would be a very huge factor. Now, Brad Miller did not have a good first quarter. He doesn't play a lot in the first quarter. But the fourth, where Vlade has been relegated to the bench most of the stretch run of this season, Brad Miller has been magnificent. And finally, Sacramento capitalizing with that edge of their quality big men.
Sports Center coming up next. Sprewell finding Garnett. And a quick 2 points. That cuts it to 7.
You've got to start fouling immediately.
Sacramento, an excellent free throw shooting team. Sprewell trying to go for steal. I think he was trying to go for the foul there. And now Rick Allen wants to talk it over.
They just let 10 seconds waste away there. They're too far behind to start waiting for the shot clock to become a factor.
At least a 3-possession game right now with 45.9 left. Sacramento with a 7-point lead, and they'll have the ball when we return. Have the ball with 17 on the shot clock. Minnesota has to start fouling.
Somehow you have to get, if you're Minnesota, you have to get the ball into Chris Webber's hands, because he's the one who's suspect at the line. But they're just going to play this out.
Well, you know, with the shot clock now at 10, it's almost, you try and get a position where you get a stop. Especially you don't want to foul Bibby. Webber floats it in. 28 for Webber. And that one just may seal it.
Flip Saunders knows the urgency to get to Sports Center. He's going to eschew the timeout here.
Hoiberg. Garnett steps back. Kevin Garnett. Webber with a rebound. Knocked away by Cassell. Hoiberg trying to draw a foul. Knocks it down. And that's a 3 for Hoiberg. Makes it a 6-point game.
Keep moving it or get it in Stojakovic's hand, although he missed 3 free throws in that last overtime thriller. The crowd, though, sensing here that this is Sacramento's night.
So Stojakovic will shoot with 7.6 seconds remaining and a 6-point lead. Stojakovic just 2 of 10 from the field. His teammates picked up the slack, especially Chris Webber with those 28 points.
So Sacramento survives the desperate straits that they're in. The question is, can they go up to the target center and get it back? And that crowd will be ready.
And they've hit all 12 of their free throws in the fourth quarter. Sprewell with the dunk. But this series is tied at 2 games apiece. The Sacramento Kings in desperate need of a victory with an impressive performance. And they tie this best of 7 set. It's even at 2.